Okay, good afternoon. A warm welcome to the Mazzana World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. A warm welcome to the post-race press conference at the end of a dramatic Red Bull Grand Prix of San Marino. Your top three, another all Ducati podium in our 400th MotoGP race in the four-stroke era. What a place to do it for Gresini Racing's Marc Marquez. Marc, back-to-back wins now in 2024. Second place, a double second place here in front of his home crowd to Ducati Lenovo team rider Pecco Bagnaia. And completing today's podium, Ducati Lenovo team's Enea Bastianini. Gentlemen, congratulations to all three of you. That was a really tricky and demanding 27 laps. Marc, we'll start the press conference with you. It seems like there was two kind of key points in that race. First of all, just how you could attack and judge the conditions when the rain was falling, and then just how strong you were in the second part of the race. Congratulations again. 1,043 days without a winner, now twice in the space of 7 days, but that was hard work.
Yeah, of course. We knew, and during all weekend we had the pace from the top guys, but starting on that ninth position was me and Enea. We were super penalized on that first laps, but yeah, when it started to drop some water on the screen and some water on the racetrack, then is where I decide to attack or to take more risk, and yeah, in one lap I passed five riders, and I was able to lead the race, and yeah, from that point it was okay. Now I'm leading, but for me the best surprise was the second part of the race, when I did the fastest lap of the race, when I was with a very good pace. I was flowing. I was losing where I lose on the practice, and I was gaining where I gain on the practice. So yeah, the feeling was super good, and yeah, this victory is super important for all Gresini family, Gresini team, and I want to dedicate to them, and especially a nice tribute to Fausto.
Amazing tribute to Fausto. You certainly did him proud today. Marc, of course, we've seen in the past you've been the master at judging rapidly changing conditions. You saw Jorge Martin come into pit lane from second place. Did it even enter your head for 1 second to follow him, or was you convinced just to stay out?
I mean, was of course the strategy of Martin was not like very crazy, because if in that lap continue the same amount of water, then he will have the best strategy. But it's true that I say I will follow the local guy, and local guy stay out. So they know better than me, and then I say if he stay out, I stay out, and all the Italians riders stay out. So
it was a tactic that paid off very, very well. But congratulations once again, Marc, on your back-to-back wins. Just 53 points now as well behind in the World Championship. Well, one of those local guys, of course, is the world champion, Pecco Bagnaia. Pecco, a mentally and very physical 27 laps for you, of course. Mentally tough because trying to judge the track conditions physically after the crash last weekend in Aragon. So to come away with 2 second places, you've got to be very satisfied.
Yeah, finally, yes. It's clear that I wanted to win in any case, but as soon as it started to rain, I saw Jorge entering the box, in the pit, and I said, I don't have to take any risk. He will not take any points. The smell was not the one of the rain, so I was sure that it was some split of rain, and apart that, I just tried to be competitive when it started to rain, but I was seeing that the Marc was arriving, and he's the bravest in these conditions, and as soon as he overtook me, I tried to overtake him back, but I didn't have a good chance to do it. The only chance was to try and dive bomb, and that was not the correct way. So I tried to follow, and in the last 4 laps I was starting to lose time, and my physical condition is more that I decided, okay, we'll finish first, for a second, and from that moment I started to feel much more pain because I was less focused on the performance, and from that moment was very, very tricky. But today Marc was just faster, and he used a lot of his braveness when it started to rain, and from that moment was tough to overtake him back, because the pace was very similar, and I was faster than him in the Curvone and corner 11. It was just much faster in corner 15, 16, and it was like a spring, and was difficult to overtake him back.
a great weekend, as we mentioned, after what happened to you just 7 days ago in Aragon. You said there in the last 4 laps, as you started to just lose a bit of concentration, there was a lot of pain. I mean, can you tell us exactly how you're feeling, and if you'd had that kind of pain for longer, would it have been harder to have stayed on the podium?
No, until I was very focused on being fast, I was able to ride well. But soon I lost it a bit because I saw that Enea was 4 seconds behind. Behind Marc, I started to take too much risk. Corner 8, corner 10, the front was starting to lock a lot, and I just decided to slow down a bit. And from that moment was a disaster. 4 laps, that was a disaster. But in any case, even if it was 100%, it was not easy to beat Marc today. And his pace was fantastic. He did 31.5 in lap 20. So this I think was the moment when he makes the difference, and nothing more. For next time, the luck is that in 2 weeks we will be back here, and I will be 100%. So I will try to have another chance of victory.
Another chance to try and beat Marc in Misano today. He was unbeatable. Congratulations, though, again to you, Pecco. Completing then the podium is home crowd favourite Enea Bastianini. Enea, we saw a lot of grey clouds here today. We saw a lot of pink clouds as well, with this smoke coming from your fan club. A very difficult race, as Marc and Pecco both mentioned. How was it for you to judge those conditions when the rain did start to fall?
Yeah, it was beautiful to see the Brutapela all pink during the first lap, and I'm happy about that podium, because today the race was tricky, and we are bringing some risk to close the gap from Pecco during that lap when it started to rain a bit and a bit more. But after Marc was really fast in that part of the race, I bring the leading, and I tried to stay behind to him for all the race and to Pecco, but I suffered a bit with the rear, especially on the left side. I lose many times from the exit of the corner the rear, and I bring the decision to stay safety also. I'm go out at 8-9 laps to go at the turn number 12. I bring a big risk. After this big risk, I understand. Okay, the third place can be good for that race, and I have learned the situation for the next.
When that rain started to fall, you came through in that big group with Marc that quickly caught Pecco. A bit like Pecco, you know this area very, very well. You live in Rimini, of course. So did you get a sense as well that the rain was not going to come very heavy? That's why you decided to stay out, or did you think about coming in?
Here, like you say, Pecco, sometime when there was a strongest rain, it started to smell a bit also the track, the air. And but also I have seen him to push on the front, and I bring the decision to stay inside, but it's also a bit of us, no?
Okay, gentlemen, congratulations once again to all 3 of you. We'll now invite questions from the floor. Thank you.
Simon Patterson from the race. Marc, congratulations.
Thank you.
Was there a point in that race, I think all of us watching thought at one point in that race that for sure you were laughing inside your helmet whenever you saw the conditions starting to go to the Marc Marquez conditions? Did you think the same thing?
Yeah, of course, after the mistake we did in the qualifying practice was the only possibility to have this kind of conditions, because as you see on the first laps, me and Enea, we were stuck behind Binder, and only in that 3-4 laps, Pecco and Martin already start to open a gap, and yeah, in that point I say, okay, now is the time to take a risk and nothing to lose, and yeah, this time went in a correct way, but you need to take the risk. Many times, also in that condition with the slick, I crashed, but today I was able to stay on the bike.
Niki Kovac from MotoGP Hungary, another one for you, Marc. On Thursday you said that you still didn't have the time to digest the victory at Aragon. Yet, is it possible, or could you please compare these 2 victories, because that one came after a long time, but you had the pace all weekend long, while here you had the mistake in the Q2, so you needed the luck today. So can you compare the emotions?
The emotions, that one was the first one, but during the weekend I realized. This one for me is even more important, not because it's the last one, because are in a normal conditions, in a normal circuit with a normal grip. So during all weekend I has been fast. I was always in the top 3, top 4 on that lap times, and this is the most important for the future races. It's true that still if we want to fight, I keep the same mentality. If we want to fight for the championship, I need to improve that small mistakes that still, starting on 9th place, we cannot wait some rain on every Sunday. So let's work on the deep points.
David, Paddock Pass podcast over here. Question for Marc and a question for Pecco. How much information were you given on the grid about what was expected from the rain? Were your teams looking at rain radars telling you it's only going to rain a little bit or it's going to be heavy or what?
No, I mean my team. I asked to my team, to Frankie, in the beginning of the before to start the race, and he said the forecast say no, but maybe can arrive something. But yeah, I mean when they say can arrive something means light rain. But you never know on that conditions because it's only a bit more, a bit less. I mean, you see Franco Morbidelli in that turn 1, he lose the front and was quite wet. But as I say, it was not a joke. I follow the local guys and say they know better than me.
In my case, yes, I was at the radar, and I was quite sure that the rain was not arriving. But Davide before the race said will not rain, and so.
So next year I don't need to believe Davide, no?
Never believe in Davide. In terms of forecast, he's always, but it's incredible. Every time he's saying a thing, it's the opposite side. Every time.
Hi Adam Wheeler. 2 questions, one for Pecco, one for Marc. Pecco first, over here at the back.
Okay.
Last Sunday when you were in the gravel, if someone could have said to you right away, you'll take P2 and a big gain in the championship the following weekend in Misano, you must have taken that. It would have felt like a win, right?
Yeah, after Misano, after what happened last week, yes. Considering that Monday I wasn't able to do that much. I was my pain was hurting a lot and was not easy. But then we worked a lot with like always with my crew, and Marco, that is my physio, did a fantastic job again. My trainer Carlo, the same. So I'm very proud of what we did, and was not critical like last year, because last year was more difficult. But I think that the arms and the shoulders are more tricky when you feel pain there compared the legs. The legs you can manage a bit better using more the arms, but you can't use the legs to be fast like you are using the arms. So was a bit more difficult riding when and today I was able to ride as I wanted, but I feel it a bit in the last part of the race, and yeah, it tastes not like a victory because it's not a victory, but tastes good because yesterday was angry because I had the chance and I didn't take it to win. Today I did the maximum and I didn't win, so more than this was difficult.
And then Marc, it's a bit of a silly question, but can you talk about the differences between the person that's winning this year and the one who was winning in 2019? Maybe physically or mentally?
Honestly speaking, physically is worse, because on 19 my body was more or less okay. Of course now it's okay enough, and I show on the racetrack to fight with the top guys, but of course I need to work a little bit more at home. But on the mental side, now I start to feel stronger and stronger, and Aragon, Red Bull Ring, and this race give me the confidence. You know, in Aragon was always a good track for me, but today here, lead the race, open a gap. You know, sometimes you forget what is that feeling, and today I was able to do it.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Frank Weying from Ziggo Sport. 2 questions for you, Marc. You were talking about the fact that you are getting better and better. There's a lot of points still to gain. I think 259
250.
So that's a lot. And last weekend we asked you, are you in the fight for the championship? Now you crashed a couple of times in the sprint because you didn't think that was a Grand Prix. But how about your chances for the championship now?
Are more than last week because I'm closer. But still, I keep the same mentality. If I wanna fight with these two guys, I need to don't do that small mistakes on the sprint, on the qualifying practice, on the practice on Friday. So let's see. This weekend I felt super good. Just of course that mistake on the qualifying practice can happen. But apart of that, the confidence when you feel like you are fast and you are close to them is more and more and more. Will arrive some racetracks that we will struggle, yeah. But I can imagine, or I hope, that some races in Asia will be on rain conditions. Then everything is more open and everything can happen.
Okay, my second question is actually for the three of you. There's been some talk about team communication, not just pit boards, but also teams speaking to riders. Now, today could have been an ideal situation where that might have been used or might have been good for the riders. What do you guys think about that?
That conditions, specifically the conditions from today, rider decide. Because even we don't know, and the team, it's impossible that they know how is the racetrack. So a rider decide by the feeling. Of course, if it's from wet to dry, then that team communication can be useful because then they can say to you if somebody's faster, time to go in, time to stay out. But when it's from dry to wet, riders always decide.
Would you be in favor?
For the show, yes. For the essential of the sport, no. But we are here for the show sometimes. So yeah, it will be more interesting for the people at home.
It depends the way they do. They develop these kind of things, but we have every input possible already around the track and on the pit board and in our dashboard. So I'm not in favor.
Yeah, me too, because for me this depends from one rider, from the rider what's happened during that situation, if the feeling is good or not. And I think the guys from the team don't say very well which is the real condition. Only us we can say this one, and we have to be very technological for have more information compare us.
Dimitris Diatsidis from Cosmote TV Greece. Question for Enea and one for Pecco. Enea, finally you choose the soft tire, and this was not the correct choice, as you said, that you were struggling in the last part of the race, when normally you are better in the last part of the race. It was that the case? And for you, Pecco, you went to the warm-up with a soft tire, and with these conditions and the rain before the race, I thought that you maybe also use the soft. What makes you change and use the medium?
I'm start?
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, go on here.
Yeah, from my side, I think the soft on the rear was the best choice for me, because I have used the medium during the Friday, but the feeling was a disaster, especially on the left side on edge, and I preferred to stay safety and to know well what there was the situation from yesterday, from the sprint. But in any case, I think at the end the best solution was the medium, no, because I'm arrived in a critical condition. But we have to work tomorrow, I think, for this to be more prepared for the second round here in Misano, and because it will be important to have the same sensation or very close to the soft one.
In my case, because Friday I did many laps with the medium, and I was knowing that the potential was high, and this morning we had to try something on the bike. We changed a bit the setup, and was better to try the setup with the same tires of the day before, so in the sprint. But I was already sure that the correct choice was the medium.
Imre Polovic from Motorsport Actuel. Question to Marc. Marc, at the first part of the season, everybody was talking about the gap between the GP23 and the GP24. Now, since Austria, you say that you have a real good feeling. So did you now equalize the advantage that the GP24 had before? And what do you expect as a potential for the overseas races?
Yeah, of course. Looks like the first part of the championship we were super close to them. Then looks like we struggled, but we cannot forget that it's my first year with this bike, and it's my first year with the technician, and it's my first year with the team. And sometimes takes time to know which is the direction, and yeah, we stay on that direction on one base setup, and then we modified a bit to my riding style, and I start to feel better and better, especially in Silverstone that I was struggling a lot. We decided to make a big change and then find another way, and I start to feel better and better. I know that I will struggle some tracks, yeah, but looks like at the moment with that base setup I'm closer to them.
Neil Morrison over here. I have a question for Marc and for Pecco as well. Marc, as you said, this is the third race now in a row that you felt super fast and super competitive. I want to know the last time that you felt this competitive over so many races in a row. I mean, are you looking at maybe 2019? The last time it was this consistent?
Yeah, 1921 was not bad. There was a period that was Aragon, Austin, and Misano that was not bad. But it's true that you know, with the normal conditions like we had this weekend, was from 19 that yeah, 19 was another step still, but I feel that I can play with my body. I start to play more with the bike. Still some weak points, for example on that turn 11, 12, Pecco is super fast. We need to understand for the next weekend if I will not be faster than him, but if we can be close to him. So yeah, still some points to discover, but every time when you have more confidence, you are able to play better with the body and yeah, and be faster.
Okay, thank you. And Pecco, Marc is now 53 points back in the championship. Is he a serious contender in your eyes?
Yeah, but you never know. Like for example, me yesterday was 26 points behind, and today I'm 7 points behind. So it's very easy to have a mistakes, to crash, to take points, to gain a lot of points. So till that mathematically is possible, you need to believe and you need to consider that other riders are there to fight for the championship, like Marc and Enea, that have always a great potential. We saw that Enea in the race is always super fast. Marc today won, so, and the second one in a row, and second win in a row. So I think I never think that they were out of the championship. And I know the potential of both. I know the potential of their bike, and I know that they can fight for the championship till Valencia.
Mela Chércoles, Diario AS. Pecco, you arrived here only 20 points behind Martin and finished only 7 points behind Martin, but without victories. Would you sign this result for Misano too?
Yes.
No. No, because I'm a believer, so I want to win. Yeah, the thing is always like this. You prefer always to win in any case. But today, like for example, today I gained 19 points, so with a second place. But if I have to decide, I prefer always to win. But in that case, was better to for sure winning. But today the second place was a huge result in terms of championship. And if you were asking me that question before this weekend, yes, I was signing it. But for the next one, I want to win.
Matteo Miserocchi, Corriere Romagna. Two questions for Marc. Marc, 2 years ago, Enea in Gresini have a lot of support from Ducati, have a lot of part and develop during the season. You have the same support this year. You have the develop in your bike. This is the first. The second one is in 2017. You win here with rain against Dovizioso, a crucial battle for the championship. Is the same importance, is crucial also this victory, like the victory of 2017?
Yeah, about the first question, I have the same support as the others GP23, exactly the same. About the second one, it's true that that is a super important victory. In that case, was completely different because I was fighting even in another way, and I was leading, I think, the championship.
The same point. You go with the same point. Dovizioso, you go 199 like Dovizioso.
Okay, so yeah, but at the moment we are far. Still, we are far. I mean, even if the two guys in front of us do a mistake, still we are behind and far. So yeah, as Pecco said, this championship is super long, but if you have that 50 points advantage, is better than don't have it. And yeah, but my target and is the most important for me is that victories give me confidence to keep going and believe more on the bike and especially prepare well the next year. Thank you.
Yes, this is Manuel Presino for Riding Sport Japan. Marc, a question for you. You have already raced 26 races with the Ducati. Do you ride it fully naturally, or do you unconsciously go back to Honda sometimes?
I start to ride.
It's like Honda.
Yes. Now yes. Now yes. In the first part, no, better. A little bit more grip. But no, it's true that some races ago I start to ride. For example, when we arrived in Austin, still on the left corners, I didn't feel with that confidence. But now on this period of the championship, I start to feel like, I start to ride like Honda. Is my riding style. But it's true that on some right corners, I'm losing. I start to losing less and less. I start to be closer to Pecco, that is the fastest one on that area. But yeah, let's see if we can continue in that way.
Matteo Aglio from La Stampa in GP1. Question for Marc. Talking about the test of tomorrow, what will be your plan? Do you have anything new to try for the end of the season?
No. We have some setups that Frankie and the team think about it, and we have some electronic setup also to try to understand. But yeah, just prepare well the Misano 2.
Over here, Dimitris Stathopoulos from Greek television. It's a question for all of you, actually. On a race like today's, when the rain starts to fall, and on a track like this one with those really fast right-handers at the back, how can you judge how much you have to cut the pace when you go into that corner without having other people in front to watch? How do you do that?
When you have somebody in front, it was easy. But when I was leading the race, then understand especially the white lines, the curbs was the most difficult thing.
Yeah, when you are at the top, you are leading. It's very difficult to understand the limit. I was entering corner 3, and I saw in the big screen that my Frankie crashed in corner 1. And from that moment I say maybe it's slippery. It's more slippery than what I'm expecting. And I was very wide, very far from white lines, from the curves, and in the Curvone. In corner 11, for example, I use a lot the outside curve, and from that moment it was impossible to use because it was very slippery. But it's the most difficult thing when you are leading and I start to rain.
Yes, it was difficult because the track was changing every laps. Sometimes it was raining in the sector number 1, sometimes in the sector number 3 when there was the Curvone. and in the curves and also in the white line was tricky. But after I bring the decision, okay, now you have to push and try to close the gap. When I bring this decision, Frank in front of me is crash. No, it's not the time. It's not the time. I prefer to follow other rider, and it's arrived Marc, and after I push again.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, congratulations to Marc, Pecco and Enea, and we'll be back in Misano in 2 weeks' time for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Well done, gentlemen.